What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the weekly, hopefully we can keep this up, the weekly Studley Stocks Report. And this one is going to be a doozy. We have quite a bit of highs and quite a bit of lows, so we definitely will talk about both in this episode. So definitely stay tuned. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe to this little community. So let's go ahead and roll into the main topics of today's discussion. All right, guys, as you can see right here, quite a bit. Obviously, we're gonna continue following our boys Talos energy, because obviously named after me. And of course, GME is back in the news yet again. This time we have some new ones, some new faces here. We have Funko, we have Boeing, we have Ulta, the makeup company. We have a new company here, Roblox, that just IPO'd. And of course, Tesla Nio are back in the news, but we'll probably briefly talk about those. As we did talk about more so in the previous last week. And the new entry here is, of course, Draftkings. So we'll definitely be in a talk with that as well as we move on to today's discussion. But yeah, guys, definitely huge potential here with the stocks mentioned today. And if you guys are interested in buying in these stocks, definitely consider our sponsor for today's video, Public. Link down below. Guys, if you guys use our affiliate links, you guys get a slice of some of the great stocks, to include Tesla, of course, and of course many of the other great stocks listed down below. And of course, guys, there's a huge promotion going on right now where in Public you get up to $100 in that slice stock. So definitely consider using that affiliate link real soon before that promotion goes away. And of course, definitely check out our other sponsor, Webull, as well, if you want up to 2 free stocks on Webull. But yeah, guys, definitely check out the links down below for both our sponsors and join the many who have already joined and grab their first free 2 shares of Webull, as well as a slice of Public in one of the many shares that they offer. Join that, free link down below, and of course, back into the stocks report. So of course, let's move on to briefly, let's talk about GME real quick and the craziness that happened with GME. Now GME, of course, we talked about this last week. Obviously, they were in the upward climb. I think they were, let me see. Let's look at the 1 week annotation here. 5 days, yes, fine. 5 days. So they were about, let me see. They went as high as $344, and this was around March 10th, which is about 2 days ago from this recording session. And obviously, before, like last week when we talked about this, they're more like around here actually from last week, about 194, less than 200. And then the week just came by, boom, spiked up, and then just quickly dropped down. So my guess right there is obviously a lot of people set like a limit sell, and it just instantly sold it once it hit like around the 300 range. And then it dripped down, but it's been kind of climbing back up again. But it's maintaining its momentum though, which is pretty cool, which is pretty damn cool at around 270 range. So obviously, definitely still a bit worried about buying into it. So definitely do not buy into it if you're like, especially at this price point, especially how volatile it is. It's like one of those things where like, I don't know, man. I don't recommend it. If it drops down to like $150, $100, then maybe at that point. But still, definitely maintain your positions if you can. Hold if you can. And of course, if you do sell and you're already, at that point where you could sell, make a profit, sell as well. Because I want to buy in. I want to buy if I can. But obviously, like myself as well as a few other people that I know sold at around that $200 range. But we did not expect it to reach 300. Holy bejesus, we did not expect that. So if you did sell at 300, you did well, my friend. You did well, especially before that massive dip. But that's pretty much it for really of GME. I don't want to go harping too much with GME. I want to talk about something new. So today's new topic, of course, is going to be a Funko. Funko has been an interesting piece. Obviously, if you guys didn't know anything about Funko, they're basically the pop culture phenomenon. The consumer products company. It offers products, plushies, apparels, toys, vinyls, bags, wallets, homewares, and accessories under mystery minis, Dobes, I think is how you pronounce it, Pintside Heroes, Rock Candy, Galactic or Hero plushies, the Super Cute, My Emojis, and the Lockfly brands. So obviously they specialize in a lot of specialty retailers and mass market retailers and e-commerce, of course. But let's look at this real quick. Let's look at this in the 1 week scale. Now, obviously, before when the week started, it was pretty much March 10th. Let's see here. So March 8th, the week started. They were sitting pretty around, was it $14 or so? Just chillaxing, a little bit of spike there on yesterday. Boom! Crazy spike there. They went straight as high as $18, almost just under $19. It looks like here, or just a little over $19. It looks like. But yeah, so I'm assuming that they just released their reports and they have done well. So let's see here. Was it yesterday? I think might have been yesterday when they reported. It looks like according to this chart. All right, guys. According to this article right here, Funko extends on the post-earnings gains after Piper Standard's nod. Piper Standard lifts its price target on Funko to $22 from his original $15. The firm points to Funko's strong Q4 results that top Wall Street's expectations, driven by a solid U.S. sales and rising interest in its products as the company develops its business within sports, music, and anime. So yes, Funko, of course, is up 8.41% in the pre-market actions, adding another 6.09% yesterday following a Q9 earning release and a conference call with management. And that is pretty much why it's going as high as it is. So like, obviously, those who bought it early, good stuff on you. But obviously, like at this price point, I typically don't like buying stuff after the earnings report, because usually, like when there's a big spike like this, there's typically another dip the following market day. So keep that in mind. Or it could just keep going up and up. But I don't think I don't think that they would do that. Because if you look at the current, let's look at the 1 year. It's been steadily going up though. So obviously, it's kind of an up and down road. Let's do is there a 5 year? Let's do a 5 year history. I like 5 year histories. Obviously, not as well as they used to. Not as well as they used to. It used to be as high as $29. And they're just going back to almost to where it was. And this was around, what year was this? 2018, 2019, and then a massive dip in 2019, and then another massive dip around June of 2020. And of course, you know what happened in 2020. We don't have to go into too much detail about that, but it's been slowly coming back up because of the sales. So obviously, like during this area, obviously great buy, but here it's a maybe buy. So obviously, I'm throwing a question right back to you guys. Obviously, I don't collect Funkos or anything like that, but if you guys are into that kind of thing, definitely good stuff on you. But like, I don't see much faith in it. Just know that I am not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do with your money. These are just my opinions and my opinions alone. Obviously, you can always correct me in the comments down below whenever I make a mistake. Personally, I just don't like this type of industry. Is just not what I really follow. But according to the consensus here, it's kind of like in that hold phase, more in the sell phase than the buy phase. So you can tell there's not much of a strong buy on, even with the projection that he made of $22, which realistically is not that far of a reach, because it's not quite the high of where it was, but it could potentially be there. So that seems realistic in terms of his estimate of going to 22. So there's still a little bit of growth potential there. So can definitely consider that if you are interested in getting Funko. So yeah, the 1 week gain for Funko is actually 15.92%. So definitely a nice little chunk of increase there. So good stuff there. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next discussion piece here. And that of course is Boeing. Boeing is a nice, it's a beautiful company, like very fantastic. But regardless, it's a company right here. Obviously, it's one of the world's largest aerospace company and leading manufacturer of commercial jetliners and defense, space, and security systems. I used to be invested with them, but I kind of converted a little bit of that over to Lockheed Martin, only because I know more about them than I do about Boeing. But still, Boeing and Lockheed Martin, they're both very good in terms of the aerospace, defense contractors and companies like that. But they've been doing very well this week. So let us roll into Boeing and just kind of discuss this in the 1 week span. Obviously, this is the 5 year span. Obviously, not as high as it used to be in the 5 years. As high as $428, and a massive dip right here around February 2020. And it's been slowly recovering. So in hindsight is actually a pretty decent buy right about now, considerable to what it used to be. And I'm pretty sure it will get to where it was. But let's look at the 1 week. The 1 week scale really shows the increase in this company right here. Obviously, like 5 days ago, roughly Monday, it was sitting around $220, and look where it is right now, $266 for Boeing right now. So that is about I think a 6% increase according to this article. Like a 6.82% increase in the past week, and that's huge. That's huge. Obviously, the reason why for the gains, Boeing delivered 22 jets back in February. Net order turned positive for the first time in 14 months. Another article here is U.S. to name Fredericksburg to oversee $500 million of Boeing 737 MAX victim fund. And of course, Boeing jumped onto a new order win for 737 MAX planes. So let's look at some of these articles real quick, especially this one. This was a positive back in Tuesday, actually. So yeah, Boeing delivers 22 jets in February. Net order turned positive for the first time in 14 months. That's huge news, and that's really the first positive news for the week that really spiked it back up. I'm not gonna read the entire article, but obviously it says here on Tuesday delivered 22 jets in February, up to 17 a year later, and that is a net order that turned positive first time in 14 months as COVID-19 vaccines rolled out, boosted the confidence on its airline customers. And of course, as more vaccines goes around, obviously that encourages people to fly and stuff like that, especially with commercial aircraft. The February order includes 25 737 MAX jets for United Airlines, announced earlier in March, 14 737 MAX aircrafts for unidentified customers, and 27 KC-46 tankers for the U.S. Air Force, announced in January. And that's pretty much what happened here, and that's what really triggered the momentum as it climbs higher and higher. Now, does that mean it will continue to go higher in the following weeks? We just have to wait and see. But obviously, from what we saw in the 5-year history, this is actually a great buy compared to where it used to be. And I know it can maintain this average $300 range, $380 range. And so this is actually a very good range if you want to jump into possibly a position with a Boeing. And they do offer dividends as well, so that's also a pro in my estimate. Obviously, it all depends on what you're looking for, and this is just one of those many options. So there's one more positive that we want to talk about before we roll into some of the downsides, the losers, the weekly losers. The last of which of the ups, I guess, is Draftkings. Oh, Draftkings. For those that may not know what Draftkings is, they are a digital sports entertainment and gaming company created to fuel competitive spirits of sports fans with products that range across daily fantasy booking, regulated gaming, and of course digital media. They're pretty much a way to do fantasy football. I never actually did anything with Draftkings. I know a lot of people use Draftkings for my coworkers who especially love football and they want to do their fantasy booking with that. They got super huge. Obviously, they do more than just football. They do baseball as well. The PGA tours for golf. So there's different areas, of course, where you can place those bids, I guess, all those fantasy booking. But let's roll into it real quick. And you can see here the 5-year span of it. Oh my God, the 5-year span. As low as $12, and it continues to skyrocket and skyrocket, especially as more fantasy footballs and fantasy bookings start being more, especially during the pandemic where people just want to fantasize about different things, especially when it comes to sports. This was definitely a great outlet for those during the quarantine times. And of course, it did go down a little bit around October of 2020, but it quickly spiked back right past its previous high. Now sitting at a nice $72, almost $72 according to this right here. But let's look at the 5-week. That's what we care about more so. 5-week, the 5-day, sorry. So let's look at the 5-day real quick. Obviously early in the week, it was sitting around, was it $61? And it went as high as $73. And it's been dipping down a little bit during the day today. But for the most part, it has been fantastic in terms of what you could potentially do with this stock. Now, with this type of market, it's difficult to say if it will continue climbing up. But of course, as things go with fantasy booking, I think it will definitely keep growing and growing as I see here. They don't have a dividend yield, which is fine for the most part. You don't have to have a solid dividend. So this is more like a potential value Not really necessarily a growth stock, but definitely a value stock that could potentially keep growing and growing, especially as fantasy booking continues to be more prevalent. And if you look at the consensus down here, it's mostly in the kind of almost buy area. There's about 13 strong buys, 2 buys, 6 holds, and 1 strong sale. So obviously a potential buy for those that use a product or just want to make some money. But regardless, let's move on to the next topics. Now, we are going into the lows of the week. Obviously, we talked about the highs. GME, of course, still killing it. Funko, and of course, Boeing, and of course, Draftkings. Now, this is kind of like a positive, but still a negative. Even though it's showing a red right now for Tesla and Nio, they're generally going up. So let's briefly talk about this, because obviously we talked about them last week. And honestly, if Tesla goes up, Nio is also said to go up as well. Let's go ahead and read some of the reasons why it spiked, especially earlier in the week. Like when I saw that it was going higher and higher, I had to double check on Nio, because obviously Nio was one of my bad boys here. So let's go ahead and read why it went up this week. Now it looks like it surged almost 20%, biggest daily rise in a year. Now, according to this article, shares of the electric vehicle maker Tesla has surged nearly 2% on Tuesday, rebounding from a deep sell-off with its largest daily gain in a year after data showed an increase in China sales and analysis rise is a rating on the stock. The jump, which added over $100 billion to Tesla's market capitalization, stopped a 5-year streak of losses. New Street research analyst Pierre Ferragu, I guess, raises his Tesla rating to buy from neutral and upped its target price to $90 from his original $578. Yeah, according to this, obviously Tesla sold 18,318 China-made vehicles in February, up from 15,000 back in January. Tesla stocks remain up about 70% over the past 6 months, and 13 analysts have neutral ratings on Tesla, which 12 recommend buying and 10 recommend selling, according to Refinity. And that shows exactly why it went up here, because of that recent change in their positions. Now, according to, like, of course, what we talked about before last week, according to its history here, in the past, let's do the past 3 months, it has been up to almost $900. So right now, it's still relatively cheap at around $700, comparably, because it was almost $900. Now, honestly, I wished I would have bought more. Like right around Monday was probably the best time to buy, but it's tough to say of when these stocks will go up. And when I start seeing it go up on Tuesday, I was like, oh crap, I missed it. But it's okay. This is how things work with the stock market. Not necessarily for Tesla, but more so for Nio, as you see here. I really want to buy more Nio, and according to this, in the past week, let's do the past week for Nio. I did end up buying some, but at a much higher rate. So like right around this time frame is when I started buying in around the $40 range. And I could have easily got a crazy amount during the $35 range. But it's still relatively cheap if you look at its history here. Almost as high as $62, $70, or about 62, yeah. About $62 it was at its peak. So it's still cheap at $45 per share compared to what it used to be. So obviously, if you guys are into EV, definitely consider buying, because these are great prices for both. But of course, it has dipped recently today, only about 0.84%. Obviously, not a huge loss from where it was. Obviously, it was at around 700 or so, and it went. It's currently at $600, so not terrible. So, and I definitely see a lot of growth potential here with both Tesla and Nio. So let's move on to some of the downs. And after the downs, we'll talk about some of the Talos picks of the week. Now, some of the downs obviously is Ulta Beauty. Now, obviously, my wife, she loves Ulta Beauty, and I had to cover this only because she was kind of wondering about this herself, because she's also kind of an investor, more in the crypto side, crypto market, but she also obviously into stocks as well. So this is one of the stocks that went down in recent weeks. Now it's still super high. Like let's flip over quick. Let's flip over. It's still $318. So that's still pretty expensive. But the consensus, it looks like, is mostly in the buy. So 13 strong buys with 6 holds. So it's not like people are not buying into this. And according to this chart right here, you can definitely see that it was as high as $347, almost $250. And then as soon as the day started for today, like it just went as low as looks like was that $307. Wow, what a huge drop. That's a crazy drop. But let's read why. Let's read why, because that's what this is all about, right? And just like with anything, the reason why is of course the earnings stumble. Yes, the earnings stumble. Helmer is writing out on a rough day for Ulta Beauty on his view on the stock that will recover from its earnings and guidance stumble. And analysis says here, we believe the reset could further solidify the outperformance case from here. The company also announced a CEO transition. Very huge. Usually when they swap out CEOs, I usually assign to drop the stock in the confidence level, because they just don't know how the CEO is going to, I guess, transition over. It's obviously been transitioned over from Mary Dillon to President Dave Campbell effective on June 2nd. So, and we have spent a meaningful amount of time with Mary over the years, but her leadership will be missed by the company and the investment community. Ulta remains a top pick for us. Shares of Ulta are still up 54% over the past 52 weeks, but of course it has went down due to that stumble and of course the transition to a new CEO later in the year. Now, I personally like the fact that it is down, because it just shows that, obviously, I don't know if I will buy into it personally myself, because I obviously I don't specialize in the makeup side of the house, but obviously this is a beauty retailer primarily in the United States, and a premier beauty destination for cosmetics, fragrance, skin, hair care products, and salon services. But if you look at let's look at the 5-year history on this. Very, very sporadic. Oh my god, very sporadic. Like that to me is kind of a bad sign when I look at the 5-year history and I see no significant growth, and it's been a lot of ups and a lot of downs. Obviously, this is more of a I guess more of a short-term type of thing if you buy it low and try to sell it high. But the highest it's ever been is like what, 355? It looks like here from this chart. Is there a longer history? Let's do max. Now, obviously, early when the stock was growing, obviously it's been growing there. But recently, since about 2016, it's been sporadic, up and down. As an investor, that scares me. So I don't think that this is actually a good long-term investment. At least not right now, until we see that new CEO and see what he does and his vision for the future of Ulta Beauty. But for now, it's kind of like this wait and sit, hold, wait and sit, and if you want to buy it now, be cautious of it, because obviously you just never know with this type of stock. So let's roll into the big new IPO right now. For those that may not know, Roblox has IPO'd. Oh yes, Roblox. Now, what the hell is Roblox? And why should we care? All right, let's talk about this real quick. All right, Roblox is a technology company, according to this description here. The company intends to build a human co-experience platform that enables shared experience among billions of users. The company offers a platform which is providing user-generated content that draws inspiration from gaming, entertainment, social media, and even toys. The company is focused on improving the ways in which the Roblox platform supports shared experience, ranging from how these experiences are built by an engaged community of developers to how they enjoy and safely accessed by users across the globe. All Roblox platform users are identified in the form of avatars that allow them to interact and express themselves as whoever and whatever they want to be. So basically what it is a sandbox type of video game. And of course, it IPO'd. All right, so there's two articles I want to look into real quick. The first of which is here. Roblox shares jump after Katie Wood's funds buy on first trading day. Now, according to this article, shares of Roblox jumped Thursday after it was revealed one of Katie Wood's funds brought into the stock on its first day of trading. So yeah, according to this article, obviously it was up 12% to $78. It was listed at $45 during IPO. And of course, funds manager Katie Wood's next generation internet ETF has bought over $500,000 of shares. And that's why it's currently sitting at $69, almost $70. And the other article that I want to cover real quick is this one right here. Welcome to the Metaverse, the sci-fi dream behind Roblox's $38 billion valuation. This gaming company went public, of course, Wednesday, ending its first trading session at an eye-popping $38 billion in market cap. That valuation may seem unusual given the company's financials, but the company is betting on something much bigger. They're building a multiverse concept or a virtual world where people can gather to play, work, and socialize. Similar to, I guess, Ready Player One, if you ever watched that movie. Looking at this, it's pretty much been pretty steady for the most part throughout the week. Obviously, only IPO'd this week, so very, very short history. And honestly, right now, like it looks like the evaluation, it ended the first day around $70, and it kind of went down a little bit to a little sell off, and then it spiked back up on, I believe, the 12th, which was today actually. And then it's kind of like simmered down a little bit, averaging around $69. So a lot of future potential. I just don't know what this potential is. It's so new that it's still showing the. It doesn't have a description on this little stock tracker website, but it's still showing Ulta Beauty. But you can definitely see here that there's potential there, especially if they make a VR style game, sandbox style game, using their built infrastructure. Is it something that you could potentially buy, or is it just another meme stock? We just have to wait and see, but a lot of potential. I would wait another week or so if you are like kind of like me and want to wait and see how it goes. I'll wait another week before you consider buying in, and we might keep an eye on this maybe following week to see where it goes. But right now, a lot of this is just potential, what it could be. It's vision that's trying to achieve. So a lot of it is speculative, and we just don't know if they can even achieve this, that their vision that they're trying to say from what the article was trying to convey to us. But for the most part, this has a lot of potential. But at $38 billion valuation, it seems pretty high for a company that just makes one thing right now, sandbox style video games. But we'll just have to wait and see, guys. So definitely keep your eyes on this. It's potentials. It's definitely potentials. But yeah, rolling into, I guess, the Talos picks of the week. It's very hard to tell. It's very hard to tell. But I'm kind of like iffy on the whole Roblox day. But I will have to kind of go with that. The current stuff that's over here, really, that's kind of like what I would go with is Roblox as a kind of like, you really have to believe in the project and find the potential in it. So definitely consider Roblox if you're into that kind of thing and want to see like a Ready Player One style VR, virtual reality, AR maybe style gameplay. We saw the prices for Tesla Nio. I always recommend those because they are so cheap. And of course, Boeing is also a good potential as well. But of course, like guys, as I mentioned in the intro, I am not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do with your money. These are just my opinions and all that jazz. But a lot of good potential with Boeing, a lot of potential with Ulta, especially for how it is. Just keep in mind of the up and downs for Ulta Beauty. Now, when a new CEO does take place, we can definitely see another. I predict another possible dip with Ulta when the new CEO does fully transition over in later this year. But depending on what the vision is for Ulta, it could potentially go back up because beauty in general, it's one of those like multi-billion-dollar industries, and Ulta is definitely one of the leaders in that, especially for its premier beauty destination, as they mentioned in the description here. Obviously, guys, in the comments down below, let me know what you guys think. Is there anything I made a mistake on? There probably is. You can always correct me down in the comments. Tell me I'm an idiot. I definitely will understand if you guys think so. I just love talking about stocks, and this is just the weekly roundup. But yeah, guys, crazy week as usual, as per usual. And of course, more coming up next week. So definitely subscribe for some more weekly stocks report right here in the Steely Boyz community channel. Now, that's all I got. Until next time, this is Talos signing out. There, guys.